Hey, thanks so much for being here and watching this video. If you enjoy this kind of content, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. I'm working toward hitting 1,000 subscribers, and your support truly makes a difference. Don't forget to leave a like so more people can discover this story. Every video I make takes time, effort, and a lot of care just for you. Feel free to share it with your friends and make sure to stick around until the end. I hope you enjoy it. He's the love of my life. You're just who I'm with right now, she admitted about her ex. I stayed silent, started packing my things, and that's when she began to panic. The shift had already happened. I just hadn't caught up to it yet. Something irreversible was sitting between us, quiet but heavy, like it had been waiting for me to finally notice. She didn't answer right away. Her thumb hovered over her phone screen, not scrolling, not typing, just pausing, like deciding whether I even deserved a response. That hesitation hit harder than any insult. Then she let out a slow breath, barely masking the irritation. You're reading too much into it. Not even looking at me. I nodded once, more out of habit than agreement. It's just weird timing, I said carefully. Posting that now. She gave a small, dry laugh, not amused, dismissive. It's an old picture. But it wasn't just old, and we both knew that. She locked her phone and dropped it beside her like she was done. Conversation over. Decision made. The silence that followed felt heavier than before. It stretched, uncomfortable, pressing into the space between us. I could have let it go. That's what I'd been doing this whole time anyway, adjusting, minimizing, convincing myself that none of it meant anything. That being secure meant staying quiet. But something about this moment didn't let me step back. Do you ever think about how that looks? I asked, quieter now, but more direct. She didn't hesitate. No. Just that. No pause. No consideration. Like the question itself didn't deserve weight. My chest tightened, sharper this time. People notice, I said. Jason thought you were still with him. My cousin, too. She cut in with a quick flick of her hand, like brushing something off. That's not my problem. I blinked. You don't think it affects us? She leaned back, stretching into the couch like she was settling into comfort, not conflict. Why are you making this into something? Because it already was something. Because it had been something for a long time, and I'd been pretending it wasn't. I ran a hand over the back of my neck, stalling. I'm not trying to start anything. You are, she interrupted, sharper now. You're creating an issue out of nothing. There it was again. That subtle turn. Now I was the problem. I studied her more closely this time. The way she avoided eye contact again, already reaching for her phone. The ease in her posture, no tension, no urgency, like none of this touched her. Do you still talk to him? I asked. Her thumb stopped mid-scroll, just for a beat, then kept moving. Sometimes. Sometimes? She exhaled harder this time, annoyance slipping through. He texts, I reply. It's not a big deal. I nodded slowly. At midnight? That landed. Her eyes flicked up, quick, then away. What's that supposed to mean? I'm just asking. But I wasn't, and she knew it. The air thickened again. You've been acting off, she said, setting her phone down with more force than necessary. Like you're trying to find a reason to be upset. I almost smiled at that. Almost. Because I hadn't been searching, I'd been ignoring. Ignoring the late-night notifications. The way her face softened at them. The way his name felt familiar before I even confirmed it. Do you miss him? I asked. The question didn't echo, it landed. Heavy, immediate. She went still. Not for long, just enough. Then she leaned forward, elbows on her knees, fingers loosely intertwined like she was organizing her thoughts, or deciding how much truth to let through. You're being dramatic, she said finally. Not a denial. I held her gaze. That's not an answer. Her jaw shifted slightly, tightened. I caught it this time. I'm here with you, she said. That wasn't reassurance. It felt like a workaround, like I'd asked one thing and she'd chosen a safer response. I leaned back, watching her in a way I hadn't before. Not as someone I trusted, but as someone I was trying to understand. "You didn't answer me," I said. She shook her head, a quiet, disbelieving laugh slipping out, but it didn't carry the same ease anymore. "Because it's a pointless question." "Then it shouldn't be hard to answer." That was it. Something in her expression settled. Not softer, not warmer. Just decided. Not defensive anymore. Not dismissive. Detached. For the first time that night, she looked directly at me. No distraction, no avoidance. And the way she held my gaze, steady, almost cold, made something drop in my stomach before she even said a word. She didn't flinch. That was the first thing that felt wrong. Not the words, those came after, but the way she looked at me like nothing fragile was about to break. Then she rolled her eyes like I'd crossed some invisible line. "You're being insane right now," she said. "Trying to control what I post?" I let that sit for a second, not reacting, not rising to it. "I'm not controlling anything," I said, steady. "I'm asking why he's still everywhere." Her expression hardened. "Because he's part of my life." "Your past," I corrected. She shook her head, already annoyed. "You're jealous." "I'm not jealous," I said. My voice stayed calm, but it felt like something underneath it was tightening. "I just want to feel like I'm not competing with someone who's not even here." That hit something. I saw it flicker across her face. Quick, defensive. "You do matter," she snapped. "But that doesn't mean I have to pretend Ryan never existed." "It's not about pretending," I said. "It's about making space for what we have." She stood up abruptly, like sitting there had become unbearable. "You're blowing this way out of proportion." The room felt smaller with her standing over me, louder even in silence. I stayed seated. "Do you still have feelings for him?" That's when everything slowed down. She hesitated. Not long, just enough. And in that fraction of a second, something inside me settled into place. Quiet, final. Then she said it. "Honestly, he's the love of my life." Her voice wasn't soft, it wasn't unsure, it was sharp, almost irritated, like she was tired of holding it back. "And you?" I asked, even though I already knew. She didn't look at me when she answered. Arms crossed, gaze drifting past me like I wasn't even the center of this moment. "You're just who I'm with right now." It didn't feel like a conversation anymore, it felt like a verdict. I waited. Not for her to explain, for her to take it back. To catch herself. To realize what she'd just done. She didn't. She just stood there, quiet, like she'd finally said something that had been sitting in her chest for too long. The silence stretched. My chest tightened, slow and heavy. My hands felt cold, like they didn't belong to me. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't ask anything else. I just stood up, walked past her. Didn't look back. "Where are you going?" she called after me, confusion slipping into her voice now. I didn't answer. I went straight to the bedroom, opened the closet, and pulled my duffel bag down from the top shelf. The zipper sounded louder than it should have. Footsteps behind me. Faster this time. "What are you doing?" she asked again, sharper now. I started pulling clothes off hangers, one after another, folding without thinking, stacking, moving. She stopped in the doorway, watching. I didn't look up. "Are you seriously leaving?" "Yes." The word landed clean. No hesitation. She stepped closer, and I could hear it in her voice now. The shift. The panic breaking through the frustration. "You're really going to leave over one thing I said?" I paused for the first time, turned to face her. "You don't say something like that by accident," I said quietly. "You say it because it's already true." Her eyes filled instantly. Too fast. Like the reaction had been waiting for permission. "That's not what I meant," she said, shaking her head. "It came out wrong." "Then what did you mean?" She opened her mouth, closed it, tried again. Words stumbled over each other. I was frustrated. You kept pushing about Ryan, and I zipped the bag halfway, reached for my charger. You told me exactly what I needed to hear, I said. I'm just not going to pretend I didn't. Her hand grabbed my arm, light but urgent. Please don't do this, she said, voice breaking. We can fix it. I love you. I stepped back, just enough to break contact. No, I said. You're with me, that's different. That landed. I saw it. I finished packing, laptop, wallet, keys, every movement precise, controlled. She moved in front of the door now, blocking it. Not forceful, just desperate. I'll delete everything, she said quickly. The photos, the messages, I'll stop talking to him. Whatever you want. I shook my head. I don't want you to change anything. She blinked, confused. I wanted you to be honest, I said. And you were. That was the end of it. I stepped around her, not pushing, just moving. She followed me anyway, all the way to the front door, her voice breaking apart with every word, apologies stacking over each other, none of them landing. I put my shoes on, grabbed the handle, opened the door. Then I looked at her one last time. I hope you find what you're looking for. And I left. The drive to Jason's felt unreal, like I was watching it instead of living it. Her voice kept replaying in my head. Not the whole sentence, just pieces of it. The part that mattered, the part that stuck. Love of my life. Just who I'm with right now, like I'd been filling space. Like I'd been temporary and didn't know it. My phone started vibrating before I even hit the highway. I didn't check it at first. Then, at a red light, I flipped it over. Her name filled the screen. Message after message stacking on top of each other. Please come back. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. We can fix this. The light turned green. I turned the phone face down. Kept driving. Jason opened the door before I even knocked twice. Took one look at me and didn't ask right away. Just stepped aside. What happened? He said eventually. I told him everything. He didn't interrupt. Just listened. Helped me bring my stuff in, cleared space on the couch, handed me a beer like it was something to hold on to. After a while, he shook his head. You did the right thing. I nodded. It didn't feel like it. It felt like something had collapsed underneath me, but staying would have meant standing on it anyway, pretending it was stable. And I knew I couldn't do that, because staying would have meant accepting it, accepting that I'd always come second. That night, I didn't sleep. My phone didn't stop. 15 texts before midnight. Apologies turning into explanations, explanations into promises. I panicked when you started packing. I said it wrong. I love you. Please just come back so we can talk. I read a few, then muted her. Jason glanced over once. You good? Yeah, I said. I wasn't. Morning didn't slow it down. 6 missed calls before 9 a.m. Voicemails? I listened to the first one. She was crying so hard it barely sounded like her, words breaking apart mid-sentence. I've been thinking all night. I messed up. Ryan doesn't matter. You're my future. Please. I deleted it before it finished, because if I was her future, she wouldn't have needed a full night to figure that out. She would have known the moment I asked. By the third day, the story was already changing, just not in my favor. What actually happened was getting softened, reshaped, passed around like something easier to swallow. Emma had started telling people it was a misunderstanding. That word, misunderstanding, kept showing up. Like what she said could be reduced to bad timing instead of truth. Kayla called first. Her voice was careful, like she already sensed there was more to it. Hey, what happened? I didn't summarize. Didn't soften it. I repeated it exactly the way it happened. Word for word. There was a pause on the other end. She actually said that? Yes. Another pause. Longer this time, then a quiet exhale. That's not good, she said. Then, after a second, she's been talking about Ryan a lot lately. Something in my chest tightened again. Not sharp this time, just confirming. Kayla kept going. Like at girls' nights, stories, comparisons, stuff he used to do, I thought it was just nostalgia. I didn't say anything, because I already knew what it wasn't. More calls came after that. Same pattern. At first, some of them leaned her way, said relationships hit rough patches, that people say things they don't mean, that maybe I should at least hear her out. So I told them exactly what she said, no edits. And almost every time the reaction was the same. Silence. A few of them told me I did the right thing. Not loudly, just matter of fact. Like there wasn't much else to argue. Then Jess called. Straight to the point. No build-up. "She's not okay," she said. "She's barely eating. She won't stop crying." I leaned against the kitchen counter, listening without reacting. "She wants to talk to you," Jess added. "Just once. Can you meet her?" No. Too fast. Too clean. Jess didn't like that. "Come on. People say things when they're upset. That doesn't mean—" "She meant it," I cut in. "And I'm not interested in being someone she settles for." That ended it. For a while. Then Emma shifted strategies. If she couldn't reach me directly, she made sure I'd see her anyway. Her Instagram turned into something else entirely. Quotes about regret, about second chances, about saying the wrong thing and losing the right person. Photos of the apartment. Our apartment. Empty corners. The couch. The kitchen counter. One post stood out. The couch where everything ended. Caption: "I'd undo it if I could." I didn't react, didn't like it, didn't even open it twice. I just unfollowed her. Jason noticed. "She's trying to pull you back in," he said. "I know," I told him. "It working?" "No." I meant it. At least I thought I did. Then she showed up. No warning, no message. Just there. I was leaving work around 6, walking toward my car, already reaching for my keys when I saw her leaning against the driver's side door. She looked different. Not dramatic, just worn down. Eyes red. Hair pulled back like she didn't care how it looked. Wearing the hoodie I gave her for Christmas. She straightened when she saw me, took a step forward. "Please," she said. "Just 5 minutes." No. Didn't slow down. Didn't stop. She moved closer anyway. "I need you to understand. I understand enough." Her voice cracked. I was angry. I said something I didn't mean. "You're not just someone I'm with. You're—" I unlocked the car. She grabbed my arm, not hard, just enough to stop me. "Don't you still love me?" I looked at her then. Really looked. And for a second, I saw the version of her I used to believe in. Then I remembered the hesitation, the sentence, the way she said it without flinching. "I loved who I thought you were," I said. "Not who you showed me you are." I pulled my arm free, got in the car, didn't look back as I drove off. A week later, she made it public. Not directly, but enough. She posted a photo, her and Ryan, sitting close in some downtown coffee shop, smiling like nothing had ever been complicated. Caption: "Reconnecting with old friends." My phone lit up within minutes. Screenshots, messages. "Have you seen this?" I had. Didn't comment, didn't react, just saved it. Timestamp said 6 days after I left. 6 days. So much for being her future. Kayla commented under it. Interesting timing. The comment disappeared almost immediately. Then the whole post was gone within the hour. Too late. People had already seen it. Saved it. Sent it around. Group chats lit up. Questions started getting asked. Emma tried to control it. Said it wasn't what it looked like. That they were just catching up. But the timeline didn't lie. Not anymore. Ryan posted the next day. Same place. Same table. Same angle. Good catching up with someone who gets me. Emma liked it right away. Then unliked it. Then commented a heart. Then deleted it. All within minutes. Like she couldn't decide which version of herself to be. I watched it happen through other people's screenshots piece by piece. Jason shook his head. She's spiraling, I shrugged. Not my problem. But it still said something. Her text changed after that. No more apologies. Now it was accusations. You gave up too fast. You didn't fight for us. Real love means staying when things get hard. I stared at the screen for a while before replying. Just once. You told me you were settling. I chose not to accept it. She answered instantly. Paragraphs. That's not what I said. You're twisting it. I was upset. You're using this as an excuse. I muted her again. Then her mom called. I almost ignored it. Almost, but I didn't. She'd always been kind to me. Different from the rest. Her voice was softer, controlled. Emma told me what happened, she said. She's not doing well. I nodded even though she couldn't see it. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not calling to convince you, she added quickly. That surprised me. She paused, then said, if someone said that to my daughter, I'd tell her to leave too. I didn't expect that. She's always compared people to Ryan, she continued. It's not healthy. She hasn't figured that out yet. I stayed quiet. You deserve someone who's certain about you, she said. Not someone deciding between you and a memory. That stuck. A few days later, Jess sent me a message. Long, thought out. She said she'd had a serious conversation with Emma. That Emma finally admitted it. She'd never really let Ryan go. That part of her had been waiting quietly for him to come back. And suddenly, everything that never made sense did. It didn't fall apart all at once. It unraveled exactly the way it was always going to. Not dramatic, not sudden, just inevitable. Jess's message filled in the last gap I hadn't needed to ask about. When Ryan didn't come back, Emma chose me. Not because she was ready, because she needed something to stand on while she waited. Jess said Emma admitted that out loud. Said she thought she could move forward if she just committed hard enough. She didn't. Jess told me Emma knew she'd lost something real, that she'd started therapy, that she wasn't asking for another chance, just wanted me to know she understood what she'd done. I read the message twice, then archived it. Understanding doesn't undo anything. 2 weeks after I left, she stopped pretending. Everything went public. Photos with Ryan started showing up everywhere. Restaurants, trails outside the city, concert lights in the background. Captions like, finally where I belong and some things are worth waiting for. People sent them to me like updates I needed. I didn't open most of them, didn't need to. I was already out. I moved everything out of the apartment within days, stayed on Jason's couch until I found a place of my own, kept my schedule tight, work, gym, repeat, started seeing a therapist just to keep my head from looping back to the same moment over and over. Still, she found ways to stay visible. One post stood out, just hands. Hers, intertwined with someone else's. No faces, no confirmation. Caption: when you know, you know. Comments flooded in instantly. Is that Ryan? So happy for you. Finally back together? She didn't answer, just like the ones that assumed she was happy. Jess texted me right after. She's trying to pull a reaction out of you. I didn't give her one. No likes, no comments, no messages, nothing. Then everything shifted again. Not because of Emma, because of him. Ryan's ex, Natalie, showed up out of nowhere. Her comment was short. Good luck with that. Emma deleted it almost immediately. Didn't matter. Natalie followed it with her own post. PSA: some guys keep you as an option. Don't act surprised when they do it again. That one didn't disappear. It spread. People started asking questions, tagging, speculating. Natalie answered with proof. Screenshots, clear, dated, recent. 2 months ago, while Emma and I were still together, Ryan had been texting Natalie, saying he missed her, asking to meet. Same time frame Emma was telling me he was just checking in. One message stood out. Emma keeps reaching out, but she's not you. I messed up losing you. It didn't leave much room for interpretation. Group chats lit up instantly. Kayla forwarded everything. Ryan had been playing both sides the whole time, telling Emma he wanted her back, telling Natalie she was the one he actually cared about. Natalie kept posting, more messages, more context. Ryan calling Emma desperate, saying she'd been chasing him for years, that he only stayed in touch to be nice. That part hit differently, not for me, for her. Emma went silent, completely. 3 days, nothing, no posts, no stories, no activity. Then everything with Ryan disappeared. Every photo, every trace, like it had never happened. She came back with a single story. Lesson learned. Don't go backwards. I almost laughed. An hour later, another one. Sometimes the person you think is your soulmate is just the one who shows you what you'll never accept again. The irony sat there, unacknowledged. That night, she texted me. You were right. I'm sorry. I didn't respond. Another message. He was using me. I should have seen it. I should have appreciated what I had with you. Still nothing. Then a call. I let it go to voicemail. Her voice sounded smaller this time, not frantic, just drained. I know I don't deserve anything from you, she said, but you were right about all of it. I held on to something that wasn't real. And I ruined it. I deleted it before it finished, because none of that changed what she said that night. None of it changed how easily it came out. Her realization wasn't mine to carry. Word still got back to me, though. She was asking about me, constantly, where I was living, if I was seeing anyone, if I ever mentioned her. Kayla told me Emma broke down in the middle of brunch, said she'd thrown away the best relationship she'd ever had for someone who didn't even want her. I didn't feel anything close to satisfaction. No closure, no sense of balance. Just tired. Tired of being pulled into something that was never steady to begin with. Tired of being the lesson she learned too late. After Ryan moved on, she disappeared completely. Deleted everything. Social accounts gone. No posts, no updates. Jess said she quit her job, moved back in with her parents, stopped going out, barely functioning. Meanwhile, Ryan didn't slow down at all. A week after everything blew up, he posted with someone new. Blonde, younger, different city vibe. Caption, new adventures. Emma saw it before she vanished. Jess said she cried for hours. After that, people started pulling away from her. Not out of cruelty, just exhaustion. Late night calls, same conversations, same regrets on repeat. Asking if I'd ever talk to her again? Most told her to move on. Some just stopped answering. Eventually, Emma became someone people felt bad for, but not someone they had the energy to keep saving. It didn't hit her all at once. It settled in slowly, the kind of realization you can't outrun once it finds you. And by then, there was nothing left to fix. A month after everything collapsed, Kayla ran into her at a grocery store. Didn't recognize her at first. That's what she told me. Emma looked worn down, noticeably thinner. Skin pale in that way that doesn't come from lack of sleep alone. Dark circles that makeup didn't even try to hide. And the first thing she asked wasn't about herself. Have you talked to him? Kayla said she kept it simple. Told her I was doing fine, that I'd moved into my own place, that I seemed okay. That was enough. Emma started crying right there between the cereal shelves. No warning, no buildup. Just broke. I threw everything away, she said. I chased someone who never wanted me, and the person who actually loved me was right there. Kayla didn't try to fix it. Didn't offer comfort that wouldn't hold. Just told her to take care of herself and walked away. There wasn't anything else to say. About 6 weeks after I left, her mom called me again. Her voice sounded steadier this time. Not hopeful, just honest. She's going to therapy twice a week, she said. They're working through why she did what she did. I didn't interrupt. She admitted something, her mom continued. She was using you as stability, while waiting for Ryan to come back. That part didn't even sting anymore. It just confirmed what I already knew. She built him up in her head, she said, because their relationship ended before it got real. No bills, no routines, no conflict. In her mind, he stayed perfect. And me? I was everything real required. She finally understands the difference, her mom said quietly. You were building a life with her. She was holding on to a version of someone that doesn't exist anymore. I leaned back listening. She knows what she lost, she added, and she's not trying to get you back. She just needs to face it. I thanked her, meant it, told her I hoped Emma figured things out. But I didn't ask anything more because it wasn't my place anymore. Later that night, Emma sent one last message. No long explanation, no emotional buildup, just one line. I hope you find someone who never makes you feel like second best. You deserved better than me. I read it once, sat with it for a moment, then archived the conversation. Didn't reply. Some people don't get closure from you. They just live with what they chose. And she had made her choice long before she said it out loud. 3 months later, I saw her again. Didn't plan to, didn't expect to. It just happened. I was at a coffee shop downtown with Claire, the woman I'd started seeing a few weeks earlier. She was different in ways I hadn't realized I needed. Easy to be around. No tension under the surface. No guessing. We were standing in line and I caught movement out of the corner of my eye. Emma, sitting alone by the window, laptop open, staring at the screen like she was trying to disappear into it. Then she looked up, saw me, and everything in her face drained out instantly. I didn't freeze, didn't hesitate. Just nodded once, polite, distant. The kind of acknowledgement you give someone you used to know. Then I turned back to Claire. She was mid-story about some chaotic client meeting, laughing as she told it. Emma kept looking for a second longer, then dropped her gaze. Her hands were shaking. I noticed that. Claire leaned closer to me, voice low. That's her? Yeah. She squeezed my hand gently. You okay? I thought about it for a second, not out of confusion, just to be sure. I am, I said, and I meant it. No anger, no regret, not even discomfort. Just space. We grabbed our coffee and left. I didn't look back. Not once. Later, Claire asked again, did that bother you at all? I shook my head. No. And it was the truth. Emma had taught me something, just not in the way she thought she would. That I'd rather walk away than stay somewhere I'm not chosen fully. That being alone is better than being someone's second option. That I don't need to compete with a memory to prove my worth. Claire smiled when I said that. I already know your worth, she said. That's why I'm here. That was it. That quiet, simple certainty. No hesitation, no comparison, no past hanging over the present. That's when I knew it was over. Not just with Emma, but with the version of me that would have stayed. Emma never reached out again after that. Months later, I heard she started seeing someone new. Not Ryan, someone from work. I didn't feel anything about it. No curiosity, no concern, just distance. I hoped she treated him better. But more than that, I hoped she finally understood something she hadn't before. That love isn't about chasing what you lost. It's about recognizing what you have before you lose it. As for me, things with Claire kept moving forward, naturally, without pressure. 6 months after everything, we took a trip to the coast, rented a small cabin overlooking the water. Days were quiet, hiking, talking, existing without tension. One night, we sat on the deck watching the sun drop into the horizon. You know what I like about you? She said. I glanced over. What? You don't carry the past with you, she said. You dealt with it. That's rare. I let that sit for a second. It wasn't easy, I admitted. There were nights I wondered if I overreacted, if I should have stayed. She didn't rush to answer, just looked at me. Would you feel like this? She asked. If you had? I didn't need to think about it. No. She nodded once. Then you didn't make a mistake. It wasn't dramatic, just clear. We talked about the future after that, not in big declarations, just quiet, steady plans. And the difference was obvious. She never made me feel like I had to earn my place. Never made me question if I was enough. She chose me, consistently, without hesitation. And for the first time, I wasn't trying to compete with anything, because there was nothing left to compete with. It didn't feel loud or dramatic, it felt settled. Final. The kind of certainty you don't question because nothing in you is trying to doubt it anymore. For the first time, I knew exactly where I stood in someone's life. Not as a fallback, not as good enough, not as the option that made sense in the moment. I was the choice. A year after I walked out of that apartment, Claire and I went back to the coast. Same cabin, same deck, same quiet stretch of ocean that didn't need anything from us. It felt different this time. Not heavier, just clearer. I had the ring in my pocket the entire day. Didn't overthink it. Didn't rehearse anything. When the sun started dropping, painting everything in that soft orange light, I turned to her. She already knew. I could see it in the way she smiled, like she'd been waiting, not wondering. I barely got through the first sentence before she said yes. Didn't need the speech, didn't need the build-up. Just yes. That night, sitting on that same deck, she leaned into me and said something that stayed with me longer than the proposal itself. I'm glad you walked away from someone who couldn't see you, she said quietly. Because now I get to spend my life making sure you never question it again. There was no hesitation in her voice, no doubt hiding underneath it. Just truth. And for a second, without meaning to, my mind went back. To that night. To the words that ended everything. He's the love of my life. You're just who I'm with right now. I remembered how they landed, how they hollowed something out in me. But sitting there next to Claire, the difference wasn't painful anymore. It was obvious. Claire never left space for uncertainty. She didn't just say I mattered, she made it impossible to question it. Every day. In the small things. In the way she showed up without being asked, there was no comparison. Because there was nothing to compare. A few days after we announced the engagement, I got a message I didn't expect. Emma's mom. She'd seen the post through mutual friends. Her message was simple. Congratulated me. Said Emma was doing better. That she'd been working through everything. That she'd taken responsibility for what happened. And that she was genuinely happy for me. I read it once. Then again. And for the first time, there was no tension attached to her name. No leftover weight, just distance. I replied, thanked her, said I hoped Emma was doing well. And I meant it. There was no anger left to hold on to. Just perspective. Because looking back, I didn't lose anything that was meant for me. I was shown something I needed to see, early enough to choose differently. Emma didn't ruin my life. She clarified it. She showed me exactly what I would never accept again. What it feels like to be kept in someone's life without being fully chosen. What it looks like when someone holds onto a version of the past so tightly that they can't recognize what's real in front of them. And more importantly, she showed me what happens when you ignore that feeling in your gut that something isn't right. I don't regret walking away. I regret how long I convinced myself to stay. But even that had a purpose, because it made the difference undeniable. Some people come into your life to stay. Others come in to draw a line, clear, permanent, between what you'll accept and what you won't. Emma was that line. She taught me that when someone tells you who they are to you, you don't reinterpret it. You don't soften it. You believe them. The first time. And you decide what you're willing to live with. Walking away didn't feel like strength in the moment. It felt like loss. Like everything I thought I was building collapsed in one sentence. But it wasn't the end of something real. It was the removal of something that never fully was. I walked away from being someone's placeholder, and I found someone who never made me feel temporary for a second. That's not luck. That's choosing yourself when it's easier not to. That's refusing to negotiate your place in someone else's life. Emma's words broke something in me that night, but they also stripped everything down to the truth. And once you see that clearly, you don't go back. You move forward.